Okay, so today we're going over module 7.1. It's called Exterior and Interior Angles. And our objective is students will find the measures of the interior angles of a triangle and polygons. Let's get into example 1 on interior angles. So what an interior angle is just interior angles are angles that are inside of the shape. So if you see the picture they give you there's a triangle and all the angles that are on the inside of the triangle, those are the interior angles. And then the number of sides determines the number of interior angles a shape has. So a triangle has 3 sides, so it's going to have 3 interior angles. A square has 4 sides, 4 interior angles. And a hexagon has 6 sides, so it's going to have 6 interior angles, and so on. So just count the number of sides, and that's how many angles it has in the interior. Okay, in example 2, sum of the interior angles. So we know for a triangle, the sum of the 3 interior angles in the triangle is 180 degrees. So in this example, they give you 2 angles. You want to find the third. So we know that if we add up all 3 angles, 82, 55, and the one we're missing, it should all add up to 180 degrees. So to solve for the missing angle, again, we add the 2 angles up. 82 plus 55 gives us 137. Plus the missing angle equals 180. And we just subtract 137 from both sides. So we get 180 minus 137. And that gives us an angle of 43 degrees. Okay, looking at example 3. Okay, so now the sum of the interior angles formula. Now this formula works for all shapes. It's called sum of the interior angles equals n minus 2 times 180. And this value of n right here, we say that n is the number of sides. So you just count the number of sides the shape has, you put it into the formula, and you subtract it by 2, multiply by 180 degrees, and that tells you how much all the angles on the inside of the shape, what they add up to. Okay, let's get into example 4. So using that formula, the sum of the interior angles, we're going to find the sum for all of these shapes we're going to go over here. So what you have here is a shape, so just count the number of sides. So it's 1, 2, plus 3, and 4. So 4-sided shape, we call it quadrilateral. So then you just want to figure out how many sides does it have. So it has number of sides, that's 4. So then we use the formula, sum of the interior angles is n minus 2 times 180. Remember, n is the number of sides. So in there, we're going to put in a 4. So we're going to have 4 minus 2 times 180. That means 2 times 180, or 4 minus 2 is 2. And then 2 times 180 is 360. So what that means is that the 4 angles right here, so all 4 angles add up to 360 degrees in the quadrilateral. Okay, let's go to the next example, example 5. Okay, so now in this shape we have here, if you just count the number of sides, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 6. So 6-sided shape, we call that a hexagon. Again, number of sides, we have 6 sides. Using the formula again, n minus 2 times 180, and this is the number of sides. So we have 6 minus 2 times 180, Again, 6 minus 2 is 4. And so if we have 4 times 180, and then 4 times 180 gives us 720 degrees. So again, what's happening here is we have 6 angles right there. And all 6 of those angles add up to 720 degrees. Now try this on your own. Again, you count the number of sides it has and then use the formula. So pause the video right now, work this one out, show me your solution, and move on to example 7. Okay, so here's example 7. So we're trying to solve for x. So here we have all of these angles given to us, but there's one angle that's missing. So what we're going to do first is count how many sides this shape has. So it has 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So it has 9 sides. So we're going to say, so what we do first is we figure out how many degrees all the 9 angles should add up to. So we say number of sides is 9. So sum of the interior angles, again, we use 9 minus 2 times 180. And that gives us 9 minus 2, 7. So 7 times 180 gives us 1,260 degrees. So this is how much all of these 9 angles should add up to. So now to solve for x, what we do here is we take all the angles, including the x, so all the angles you see there, including the x, and we add them all together, and that should all equal 1,260. So what we do next is we're going to add up all the numbers first. So we add up all of these numbers, and we leave the x by itself. So all those numbers added up will give us 1,102. So we have 1,102 plus x equals 1,260. So again, we just subtract 1,102 from both sides. And that goes away from here, and then we subtract it to the other side. So we end up getting x equals 1,260 minus 1,102. So that gives us x equals 158 degrees. That means that this right here is this angle right there. Okay, let's get into example 8 now. Again, here we're going to solve for x here. So you first of all figure out the shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. The number of sides is 5. So you figure out how many degrees all the angles add up, measure it, or the sum of the interior angles. So we have 5 minus 2 times 180. And again, 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 gives us 540 degrees. Okay. So if you look at all the angles they give us here, so we have, this one's 90, 90, and another 90. And then we have 2 values here, which are x. So we're going to add up all those 5 angles, solve for x. So we have, just again, put them in order. So I have 90, and I have an x, I have another 90, another 90, and another x. So I have 90 plus x plus 90 plus 90 plus x. All 5 of those have to add up to 540 degrees. Okay. So what I do first is I want to add up all the 90s. So I now have 1, 2, and then 390s. And then how many x's do I have? I have 1 and then 2 x's, right? So what I do here is I take 90 plus 90 plus 90. That gives me 270. And then I have 2 x's, so I'm going to put plus 2x. And that's going to equal 540 degrees. Okay, next thing I do is I want to isolate x. So I'm going to subtract 270 from both sides. So I'm going to end up having 2x equals 540 minus 270, which gives me 2x equals 270. So 540 minus 270 gives me 270. And then to get the x by itself, I want to divide by 2. I'll divide both sides by 2. And what that gives me is a value of x equals 135 degrees. Okay, so that means that this 135 means that this angle right here is 135. And then this angle is also 135. Okay, so let's get into example 9. Okay, so in this one, they don't give you a picture, but they only give you a problem here, so you have to read it. So here it says, determine the measure of the fourth interior angle of a quadrilateral if you know the other three measures are 89, 80, and 104. So you want to figure out what type of shape it is, and it kind of tells you right there. It says a quadrilateral. And if you don't remember what a quadrilateral is, it says here, find the measure of the fourth interior angle. So what they give you right now is they give you three angles. They give you 89, 80, and 104. So the one that we don't know what it is, call it X. So that's the one we're trying to solve for because we don't know what that one is. So again, first thing we do is, has four sides. So some of the interior angles here is we have 4 minus 2 times 180. 4 minus 2 is 2. So 2 times 180 because it's 360 degrees. So that means that all four angles here have to add up to 360 degrees. So when we solve for the missing angle, I'm going to put 89 plus 80 plus 104 plus x equals 360. So what I do first is I take these three, add them together, 89, 80, and 104. That gives me 273 plus x equals 360. And I'm just going to subtract 273 from both sides to isolate my x. So here I have x equals 360 minus 273, which gives me an answer of 87 degrees. Okay, so let's move on to example 10, last example for today. So you want to try this one on your own. But what you want to do here is, first of all, figure out what kind of shape they're asking for. It says to determine the unknown angle measures in a hexagon. And it says here whose 6 angles measure. So it has a 6-sided shape. And then here they give you, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have 5 and then 6. So you have the 6 angles. So you want to add up the 6 angles, set it equal to your interior angle measure. And then what you're doing here is you're going to solve for B, for the value of B. Okay, so again, try this on your own. Take a few moments on it, and then show me your work when you're done. And after you're done with this one, just go on to the classwork. Okay, so we're done with today's notes. So start the assignment that's on Google Classroom, and I'll come around and give you credit for today's notes.